coming, I wouldn't argue. Of course, Lewis O'Brien could have been a contender on the left with Longman on the right, but instead it's Thomason who will play on the right with Longman on the left. The usual back three in front of Arthur Okonkwo, who of course will want to get a couple of early interventions, and I'm sure just to keep his confidence going. And then I've got to say, I like the look of that box midfield with the experience of Sheaf and James anchoring and therefore allowing Windass and Broadhead to start together. Now, behind Kiefer Moore, I don't know, Mia, that looks, to me, I like the look of that setup.
Yeah, it looks very nice. First time we're seeing that trio all start together, and it was a question that was being asked constantly, wasn't it? You know, could that be a possibility in this system that Phil Parkinson likes? And like you say, back to that box midfield, which we've seen a couple of times already this season with Sheaf and Matty James as that two sort of double pivot, and it has worked, hasn't it, a number of times as well. So really interesting to see it tonight in action against a really informed team in Sheffield United who've just swapped ends. So we'll be kicking against the Stoke Cold Brew coffee stand to start.
Yeah, to the horror of the Wrexham fans who were booing. Interesting to see Gustavo Haver, the Championship Player of the Season, is starting because the Sheffield press thought he might be rotated out today with the games coming up. He's just started to regain his form, and I mean, they're a formidable outfit, aren't they, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely. I've just had a little quick word with Alan Nill, who's the assistant manager down there. He is my manager at Bury, and he's saying they're just starting to get to the point where they really want them from 17 games ago or whatever it was when they took over. Really tricky situation. He was looking to go on safari as well and back in work that quickly. So, yeah, but he's delighted with the way that the last 7 games has gone, and this is a really tough game for Wrexham. They're in a bit of form. They've got some real high quality players, and Wrexham are going to have to be bang at it to get anything out of it.
Absolutely, as Wrexham start and immediately are getting on the front foot. So kicking in a direction Wrexham like to kick in the second half as Cleworth flicks a nice ball over. That's interesting. Longman is on the right. As Wrexham, again, just moving it around in midfield. See, there's Sheaf. Thomason available on the left. And immediately looks forwards but doesn't deliver. And Wrexham are moving the ball around nicely in midfield. Thomason again out wide is calm. Sheaf once more. Of course, Thomason might not give the drive at the likes of Barnett, but he will be able to link up like that and make an extra man in the middle of the park as Wrexham look maybe to move the ball around Sheffield United. As Doyle goes long, Kiefer Moore up against his old team, makes it a loose ball, and the ball is hooked. Partially clear, but Wrexham again are good. Win it straight back. This is a positive, confident start at the front foot by Wrexham. Broadhead's got Longman in space now on the right, and he threads him in nicely. Longman has bodies in the box to aim at. Sweeps a nice looking ball in, but too close in the end to Cooper the keeper. But what you want to see at the start of a match against a good team.
Exactly what you want to see, and Ryan Longman immediately head up, wants to kick that ball forwards, gives himself a little touch, and like you say, looked probably a better ball than it was, just straight into the hands of Cooper, but immediately that attacking intent that we want to see from this Wrexham side.
Because Patrick Bamford is wrestled off the ball by Dom Hyam. If you believe all the clickbaits, then Patrick Bamford's nearly signed for Wrexham about 75 times. If you believe all the clickbait, though, then Elvis Presley is living on the moon, so let's not get too carried away with that. I was about to say Elvis Presley is president of the States, and I thought, hang on a sec, that's not so unlikely. Ball knocked long, Cleworth does well to win it in the air though. Ooh, Longman's pass back to him is not the smartest, and Cleworth just has to get rid. It's headed forwards well, and as a result, Wrexham in trouble here. Hamer around the back, left-hand side, cuts inside and beats Longman, drills it in the goal mouth, just got a bit too much on that. Arblaster will keep it in on the right flank, and he has support as well. Pulls it back, so Sariki's able to deliver, but it's blocked. Having said that, Thomason's clearance doesn't go anywhere, and Broadhead does well to nip in, having got the block in at first, to then win it back. But here comes Sheffield United again. Longman fails to deal with the ball, and it's ripped in at pace and headed just wide of the Wrexham right post. It was a brilliant diving effort by Hamer, who managed to get there across Doyle. Doyle did well, I thought, to track him across the penalty area and at least put him under pressure.
Yeah, he had to, because it was looking like a really promising break from Sheffield United. Just again, second time in just the last minute or so, they've got down their left-hand side against Ryan Longman. It's a good ball in the box from McCallum, And it's O'Hare, man on 5 goals already this season, who gets his head on it, just tries to flick it over, just can't quite hit the target.
Here's Doyle then. James helps it wide. That's nice. Thomason can sprint onto this. He's got players ahead of him as well. As he comes inside, Broadhead's gone outside. Broadhead receives. Level edge of the area on his right foot. Back to Windass. Be fascinating to see those two and more in the same setup. Broadhead again. Wrexham just slow the move down. And now it's Windass getting booed, of course, for his Sheffield Wednesday links. He's found Doyle, who's driving into the box, left-hand side. Powerful strike! Safe hands. It was too close to the keeper. But positive intent by both teams early on.
Well, down at our end, a really good cross by McCannon. Right, fires it across, but we managed to deal with it. But that's twice down this side now. But Wrexham have really started well up the top end of the pitch. And what we're seeing is the 2-10s, if you like, in Windass and Broadhead, really having an impact on those pockets. The Ryan Longman chance comes from Windass getting on the half turn and being able to dribble into space after the Longman run. Can we utilise them and be really positive when we want to play forward?
Wrexham win it back again. That's snappy passing, but the return ball to Thomason by Broadhead isn't good. James wins the ball well. Now here's Broadhead breaking forwards, cuts inside his man well, gets to the edge of the area, switches on, he's seen it, and it's a big interception by McCallum. Otherwise, Longman would have been in. Good start this from Wrexham. James, Broadhead turns well between the lines, but Sheffield United converge on him, and then Hamer hits a long one. Awkward for Hyam, who deals with it well with Bamford after him. Clewer sprints, does well to keep that in, clips it down the line. It goes out of play eventually, but again, Wrexham looking positive. Wrexham looking to ask questions of a Sheffield United side, which has really been clicking of late. It's a good start.
Yeah, well, we've seen an intent of when we give the ball away in that final third that we go after it and hunt it back straight away. We had it in the Swansea game for the first 20 minutes, but when we scored, we just sat back and were a lot more passive. So can we maintain this even if we go ahead?
Sloppy ball out from the back by Japhet Tanganga, the Sheffield United skipper. Throw to Wrexham. Been a bizarre season for Sheffield United. I mean, why they sacked Chris Wilder, I can't get my head around anyway. And the ownership group, the COH, are basically, I think, admitted they've made some quite serious mistakes and are looking to rectify it as Longman has to chase back, gets a foot in. Quick throw by Hamer. Ref says from the wrong place. I think a bit harsh, that, to be honest. But yeah, they've sort of admitted they've made mistakes. I feel sorry for Ruben Selles, who came in having done so well at Reading and Hull, 2 clubs with no money, but then had a disaster at Sheffield United and was gone after losing his first 6 games.
It's so difficult to change a format that has been instilled in the players for so long and been successful as well. A few of the players will be looking at it going, well, this is not what we are, this is not how we do things here, and it's so difficult to turn a ship round. And then once you get a few players dropping out of there, it's so difficult to get them back. But fair play to Chris Wilder, he's come in.
Bamford scores out of the blue, an absolutely magnificent goal. Arblaster on the right, feeding it in, and Bamford just got in ahead of his man and glanced it across from outside the near post, about 15 yards out, across a Conqueror who had no chance. It's a delicious little flick, hits the far post and goes in, and you've got to say, I mean, goodness me, that's superb from Bamford.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous little flick, isn't it? It's audacious. Just gets in front of his man, Dom Hyam, gets that touch. And Okonkwo can't get close. It's a nice ball in from Sariki. Just does too much to get past Broadhead, who I think's got to do more in that position to just try and block the cross. Just make it a bit more difficult for him. But then Patrick Bamford, wow.
Well, it's exactly what you want from your striker. Making that front post run. Wing back or full back is on the move to cross it, and so can't necessarily get the perfect crossing. So you make your run into the space across the front of Hyam to try and get ahead of him. And the full pause pursues, but let's not take anything away from the finish. It's delicious on the outside of his boot, little flick. Doesn't have to hit it hard, just needs to use the pace of the cross to flick it into the far corner, and what a fine goal.
Told you we should have signed him. Oh, well. No, that was never going to happen, as Wrexham have to build again. But Wrexham has started well and have asked questions with this shape, and Wrexham need to keep going and keep doing what they were looking to do. Here's Moore getting wrestled to the ground by Tanganga. Nothing given, surprisingly. James, though, gets it loose ball, feeds it on quickly. Chong is saying, quick, get across, because he can't. Across the face, put back in, it's there! Wrexham equalise, an own goal! Knocked into his own goal by Bindon, who had no chance. Windass did so well to volley it back in the goal mouth. What a great break, and like I said, in the build-up, Chong pointing desperately, because just like Andy said, Wrexham are getting little players in the pockets, little overloads, we worked it well. Great cross in. And Windass just gives a little wave to the Sheffield United fans who've been booing him every touch, because he did well to keep that alive and force the own goal.
Perfect response from Wrexham, really good. Just look at Thomason filling in at left wing back today, not where we usually see him, but it's a great ball into the box, into that danger area. Defenders reluctant to get a touch on it, and Josh Windass just absolutely fires it back in. I think it's Bindon who it comes off in the end.
Well, he's got to do something about it. Keith Moore is just behind him, ready to tap it in. But what a cross. We've had 2 brilliant crosses already in this game. And it's looking like it's going to be a humdinger of a time, because it started off so brilliantly. It's Thomason on the left-hand side, fires it in that gap. But what a touch from Windass to just put it back in the middle of the goal. And Keith Moore ready to tap it in, but Bindon has to do something about it and just puts it past his own keeper.
Yeah, that one, I mean... Unlike, that's the Cameron Burgess own goal for Swansea. I have a lot of sympathy for Burgess, but he did kind of feel maybe he had enough time to make sure he put it wide to the post, whereas that one, to be fair to Bindon, I mean, what can he do? Windass has put a beauty in, hasn't he?
Yeah, and it's so easy for Windass to just go for goal from where he was, but he just puts it back in an area. And like you say, yeah, Bindon just can't get out of the way of it. He's got to do something. But fortunately for him, he's just put it in the net.
So we've got a game on our hands here. Matty James gets a good foot in, but Wrexham are in their mid-block. Rui de Veld, a really shrewd signing by Wilder. I felt sorry for Sellers. A lot of the players he brought in on paper looked tasty. That's a nice idea over the top. And Hyam, as Cluithrow did well to come across and track O'Hare. Got away with it, hitting his back, and now a great ball finds Broadhead with players over here. Broadhead cuts inside, looks to play a reverse. No look pass to Windass, and it's well intercepted. That was good alert defending to spot he was going to do that. And now the ball over the top, looking for Bamford. Again, the ball bounces awkwardly. Hyam again does well, and Doyle is sensible, planting ahead and straight back to Okonkwo.
Yeah, just look how open Sheffield United are on that breakaway. It doesn't take much, just a little through the lines pass. And it's Broadhead just bursting through. Sheffield United fullbacks just push on, and they just leave 2 men in behind, and it just opens up for that trio again.
Yeah, I love the overlap from Windass. He takes it on, but just Broadhead just maybe delays it a millisecond and just allows the foot of Tanganga to get a touch on it. But like Mir says, one pass and we're out.
And it's causing a real issue, isn't it, for Sheffield United, because they're playing with a 4-2-3-1. As hang on a sec, is a nice interception by Thomason, who comes central and goes driving forwards. Wrexham playing at pace and purpose, but he doesn't get the pass right. Again, Windass got wide and stretched the Sheffield United defence. Now they're working the ball out a bit too easily from the edge of their area. Ball is scuffed forwards by Sariki. Matty James battling away O'Hare. Thinks he was fouled. He may have a point, but throwing goes Wrexham's way. But yeah, they look either wide open or the double pivot in the 4-2-3-1 sitting on the toes of the back four because they're scared of getting caught out. And then they're a broken team. They've got like 4 players up the pitch all trying to press, and then a huge gap in the middle which allows Wrexham to play through. So Wrexham have caught them out, I think, with this shape. Here's Cluith now coming forwards. He does well to evade O'Hare. That's nice. Windass has dropped off on the right and pings a delicious switch to Thomason on the left. A gasp from the crowd. Pulled back to Broadhead, corner of the area. Doyle comes inside. Broadhead back to James instead. Long range shot is blocked. Or is he just looking to fizz it in for more? Long ball over the top again. Bamford's getting a lot of those. That one's overhit.
Yeah, but we're getting bodies up into the box. We're getting Thomason high, we're getting Longman high. We've got the 3 as well down the middle of the pitch. We're being really brave because we're leaving Hyam and Bamford 1-for-1. We know Bamford's not going to outrun Hyam, so they're taking a little bit of a risk with it, but risk and reward in this game.
That's a great ball to Moore in the left channel. Only Longman stayed up with him. Moore skips past the challenge, drills it in. It's a really good block that by Bindon. Ball come back in again though on the left hand side. Thomason, snappy little pass, and Broadhead is scurrying forward. He's been really busy in that inside left position. Doyle feeds to the edge of the area. Windass gets his pass wrong, but luckily for Wrexham, so do United. And now here comes Cleworth with Longman in space outside him. Feeds it inside instead, and Moore's just denied. Arblaster just got a toe to the ball. Wrexham on the ball again then in midfield. Good pressure this. Cleworth closed down by Hamer. Will have to go backwards. And uses Hyam. Okonkwo now. But wow, we've had 13 minutes of this. It's breathtaking. Doyle down the left hand side for Thomason, flicks it inside. Broadhead has to be sharp to get it back to him. But yeah, Thomason's been getting up the pitch really well. You sort of think it's going to be much more natural for Longman than Thomason, but Thomason's been the one who's really done what Parks on one side of the wing backs and getting really high up to offer an attacking width. Moore wins that well in the air, but picked up by McCallum, prods it forwards, O'Hare. Good first touch, lovely ball around the corner. Now danger. Hamer breaks to the edge of the area, left channel on his right foot, tries to curl a good block. That by Cleworth. Gets across. Hamer will get across to the loose ball by the corner flag, mind. Pulls it back nicely. Riedewald exchanging passes of O'Hare. And Arblaster spinning it across to the right hand side. Sariki sweeps a great ball in and Bamford scores! And it's fabulous delivery, but Wrexham have got to ask questions of how the centre-backs in the 6-yard box have let Bamford get on the blind side of both of them and come in and get a pretty straightforward finish, in all honesty.
Well, it's that combination again. 2 shots, 2 goals, Patrick Bamford. And that one's a lot easier. You fancy him all day long if he gets on the end of that ball, but absolutely that. It's just too easy, isn't it? Again, George Thomason, can you do a bit more? Stop that cross in the middle of the box. Just can you do a bit more? It's good movement by Patrick Bamford. He doesn't have to do too much.
It's an unbelievable cross again. Just put it on a sixpence. As a striker, his movement was near post. He's gone to the far post in between 2 players. You feel like you've got him, but the ball is so good. All it needs is just a strong side foot on it, and it's a goal. And it is. Bamford with 2.
Wow, what a start to this match at Wrexham. Already shown they can bounce back. Got to do it again. Ball fed forwards by Thomason. Broadhead goes back into the Wrexham half. Electrifying start to this match. Broadhead again picking it up in an advanced possession. Great ball, finds Thomason bursting forwards. He does well to hold off his man and pull it back. Broadhead again, corner of the box. Doyle joining in. Works it wide to Thomason. Neat ball to Broadhead. Opens his body up quickly on the first touch. Immediately is hassled. Matty James picks it up and works it wide. Longman back inside. Longman again. Getting it back from Cleworth. Sheffield United working very, very hard here. The referee Andrew Kitchens allowing quite a lot of physical contact. I'm not disagreeing with him. It's adding a flow to the game. The Sheafar, lovely little dummy, goes one way then the other. And then tries to feed in more and made a good run down the left channel. There's plenty more left in this game as the ball's given away to Sheaf. Works it early. Moore on the flank. 3 players attacking the box. Moore delivers. Great ball in. Headed up in the air by McCallum. Longman keeps it alive, but in heading it inside, he picks out the keeper, Cooper. And the danger ends. But again, good response by Wrexham.
Yeah, again, you're thinking they're going to get back into it once more and copy that first. It's a really good ball in from Kiefer Moore. He just fizzes it. And Longman's just waiting at that back post. He just needs to get in front of Sariki. He deals with it well in the end.
Throw in then to Sheffield United. A rare lull in the action. Has been intense. They're taking a long time over this as well. Sariki still standing in front of the dugout. Bamford came running across for a bit. Are they trying to say that one of the balls is flat? Anyway, the refs said time to get on with it now. And the throw is down the line, repelled easily by Doyle. Phil Parkson does the fielding, another throw in. Sariki has it on the halfway line. So, 2-1 to Sheffield United. Throw-in's taken. Hamer tries to flick it on and loses out. Moore doesn't get the decision with the throw-in. to the horror of Phil Parkinson. Chatting to the BBC Sheffield guy who's up here commentating, and he said he thought it was a terrible mistake letting Moore go in the summer by Sheffield United. Injuries hampered him last season. The Sheffield United fans aren't so keen on him and have been mildly booing him, I'd say.
Yeah, well, obviously he had a bit of a nightmare in that playoff final, but he was a massive reason why they were in that game in the first place. So, you know, I agree with you, Mark. I think it was a little bit of a surprise, but obviously very happy to have him here.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about that. Good tidying up by Sheaf in midfield, and Cleworth knocks it forwards. Equally tidy play then by Arblaster. And Sheffield United now pushed into their own half. The ball's hooked over the top, but Bamford won't be able to get on the end of that. Throw-in goes Wrexham's way. Remember, you can get in touch using the hashtag #AskWrexham at ASKWXM on Blue Sky or Twitter. And there's already plenty to talk about. Hamer does really well, and Bamford has a lash at it. Can't keep it down from the edge of the area, but slashed at it on the turn. Fancying a hat-trick in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, why not? Bit of form, 2 goals already. Maybe better to have taken a touch, but still got that confidence to have a go.
It's Wrexham coming forward, and a wild challenge on Broadhead gives Wrexham a free kick in a shooting position. Windass is there straight away to claim his territory. But Broadhead's causing them problems in that little left-sided pocket, isn't he?
Yeah, it's really good link up from him and Kiefer Moore. And he's just looked really bright every time he's got on that ball, wanting to drive at his man and get further forward. Just to see if he can find that bit of space maybe, and maybe give it a bit sooner at times. But it's just a bit wild, isn't it, from Bindon, who just finds himself in the way, really.
So here we are then. Definite shooting position. Doyle is there. And Windass, unsurprisingly, has won the argument. Broadhead's gone in the keeper's line of vision. Doyle's still there, actually. Doyle's trying to convince Sheffield United that he's a left-footed option. Maybe he is. Sheaf and James lurk on the edge of the D. It's a decent-sized wall. It's a 4-player wall. Referee seems happy with it now. Gives the go-ahead. Doyle. Windass hits it. Can't keep it down. But again, Wrexham just asking questions. We certainly look to have something going forwards. We look to be finding the space. Just couldn't keep that set piece down though.
Yeah, Broadhead's gone for power. It's just gone to tee off keeper's side rather than the finesse of getting it up and over the wall. He's got the line right from that angle just behind the camera from the free kick, but just a bit too high and wide. Maybe a bit of finesse, I think, was needed. Go and try and get it up and over.
Long goal kick. Bamford in front of Hyam. May have hit his hands, but James gets there, knocks it long. Moore gets up ahead of Tanganga. Well taken on the chest by Broadhead. Works it out to Thomason, who's already working up a relationship with Broadhead. He's already available out there, out wide, and the two of them have combined a few times. Hyam working it back across to Doyle on the left-hand side, still in the Wrexham half. And he crosses the halfway line, feeds it in. Again, Broadhead drops deep and spins beyond his man. Lovely work. Accelerating forward so quick and his feet so fast. He finds Thomason, who's got 2 men on him, and he battles away Thomason. The ball comes out. Doyle picks it up. Sheaf keeps it moving. James on the corner. That's a lovely little ball to the edge of the area. Moore, surrounded by defenders, helps her on. Broadhead has got Thomason on the overlap. Finds Sheaf. Sheaf to Thomason. Big interception by Riedewald in the box. It was a lovely idea by Sheaf, just wasn't quite there. But Wrexham win it back, come forwards again, and the crowd are in this game. Cross from the left is a good one. Good defending, puts it behind for the corner by Bindon. But Thomason got great shape on that, and Wrexham asking questions.
Yeah, some really good football down Wrexham's left-hand side. Just some really nice little balls in those triangles. Matty James played a really nice one, and Kiefer Moore most alive to it, getting there ahead of that Sheffield United back line. You can feel something coming.
An away swinger then from the left-hand side. Wrexham got a crowd of players around the penalty spot. Broadhead on the keeper. So towards Cleworth, and Moore off the line. Good contact that by Moore for an header. But the defender on the near post held his position, heads it off the line, and Sheffield United have an escape. Wrexham.
Yeah, well, that's why you put players on the line, isn't it? Ollie Arblaster, I think it is there. It's a really good header from Kiefer Moore. Don't think we've scored at all from a corner this year, have we? Apart from obviously the George Thomason one. I thought that was it.
Great contact, wasn't it? He got across really well. It was a good 15 yards out, but he placed it to perfection, except that the near post man hadn't fallen asleep and was still there. Awkward one for Okonkwo, slices it into the crowd. Muttering from the crowd, and I gotta say, we don't need that, because after the Swansea game, you just want to hear everyone right behind him. That's nothing. He slices it's a throw in 20 yards out, defend it, it's nothing.
Yeah, and you just want him to be a bit more commanding though, just to shout and take it a bit earlier. Max could quite easily have got back to it and cleared it, but a little bit of indecision.
Yeah, he was there waiting, wasn't he? He was going to go in the box, out the box. It was out the box. Long throw to the near post. A good one by McCullum, comes off a defender. That's 3! Oh, that is so frustrating. O'Hare scores. The long throw does for Wrexham. Defender got up. I think it might be more at the near post. Gets up, but can only flick it on. And O'Hare heads it in. And that is why Sheffield United are looking like a promotion team this season, because they can be out of the game and then come forward for the first time in 5 minutes and strike.
Well, it's from the long throw. We've seen a few of them at this place a few years ago, and that one certainly pays off. Great throw into the box, and it is Kiefer Moore who wins the first one. From an attacking point of view, it's a really good header back into the box. Obviously not where he would have wanted it to go, but O'Hare's alive to it. Probably the smallest man in that box, and he manages to get onto it. I think Arthur will be really disappointed not to get higher and get something out of it.
Well, O'Hare just reads it. He just gambles on it from edge of the box. As it's thrown in, he's making it at pace, and he just hopes it falls to him. He's so brave as well with Arthur coming out. And I think Matty James just can't keep up with him. They end up in a pile on the floor, and O'Hare with the third of the game for Sheffield United.
Wow. So Sheffield United are certainly economical going forwards. They're making chances and taking them. Here's Bamford now, after James lost the ball. Squares it nicely. Hamer into the edge of the box. O'Hare tries a cute little back heel. And luckily for Wrexham, Thomason was alert and hacks it away for a throw-in.
Yeah, well, he's just knocked it right from that throwing point that they've just scored from. So they need to be organised on this one. Make sure, I know they won the first one last time, but win that first one and get it a bit away from where that last one landed. Kiefer Moore in there, that's his job. You need Arthur to be commanded in his area as well.
So here comes McCallum again. Again, it's long and high. It's a real crowd in there. Well won by Cleworth. There's a bit of afters as well. Wrexham launch it clear. Broadhead trying to back into his man. Can't get proper contact on his header. It's a real scrap in the middle of the pitch. Maud as well to bring it down, and Broadhead nearly comes away with the ball. Great tackle by Bindon, jumping in on the wrong side of Broadhead, but managing to get a proper contact on it. And now Wrexham looking to press. Longman steps in. Nice work by McCallum. Gives the ball away. Then no. And here come Wrexham. Longman around the back of the fence. What a chance this is. Pulls it back. Windass stopped from shooting. Back to Sheaf. Deflection. Takes her over the bar. Oh, it just wouldn't sit for Windass. That was so unfortunate for Wrexham.
It's just behind him slightly. He's just got to stop his steps to then compose himself, and it's just behind, so he can't get that shot off. Great play, great pass by Matty James. If he can hit it first time, then I'm sure he does. But it's a great block as well to put out for a corner.
So an in-swinger from Thomason. Loads of players on and beyond the far post. Sheaf completely unmarked on the edge of the area. Hamer's been taking up a sort of half and half position. He's gone back to the edge of the box now. Thomason fizzes that in! And Wrexham get a goal back! Moore heads it home. What a game this is. Brilliant delivery that. And the keeper, he can't get off his line before the ball is past him.
Well, with some real quality in this game already. Not anywhere from either wings. It's been fizzed in that. Thomason has been brilliant this first half in the opposing half. But that ball in is perfect, and it's Moore just rising just inside the 6-yard box. The keeper's pinned in. He can't do anything about it. And Wrexham back in it 3-2.
Well, he almost scored from that previous corner on the other side, didn't he? Makes no mistake this time. No one on the line's going to keep that one out. Absolute power header on the end of a really good ball in, like Andy says. And wow, we haven't even hit 30 minutes yet.
Well, I mean, last time they came here, there were 6 goals. If there aren't at least 6 in this one, something will go badly wrong. Longman under pressure, he's giving it away in the box. Bamford, first time big save by Okonkwo. Longman is there at the Thompson on the Huckstead clear. Longman, that was a horrible mistake. And Okonkwo was quick to get his hands up. And then Broadhead does well. Doesn't get the free kick though, like I said. Andrew Kitchen, the ref, is really looking to let game flow. He was the ref of the defeat to Hull City a couple of weeks ago, of course. And yeah, he's certainly letting the game carry on. That's a great ball out wide by Hamer to McCallum. McCallum swings in a good ball to the far post. Good work by Thomason, just leans on Chong and makes sure he's under pressure. And then that, well, again, no foul given, just a throw. Broadhead lunged in there a bit wildly.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think Sariki really appealed for it.
Yeah.
I think he was happy with the throw, so that normally tells you. But what a chance it was for Patrick Bamford just off the Longman mistake. And that's where Wrexham really need to be careful, because he's already got 2 to his name. And you look across that Sheffield attack, and they all look so potent at the moment and ready to take their chances. So let's not give them up on a plate.
Oh, precisely, as Thomason's turned inside out by Sariki. Swings beyond the far post though, but Hamer will keep it alive. Immediately whips a great ball back in. Well done, Hyam. Just got that ahead of Bamford. Helped on partially by Matty James and then by Broadhead. Moore can't get to it though, and Sheffield United look to build once more. Down the right-hand side, good tackle this time to stop Sariki by Thomason. By Broadhead, rather. First time we've seen Thomason defending, and he got turned inside out, didn't he?
Well, that's what you get if you're going to play people like out of position, square pegs in round holes. He's been brilliant at the top end of the pitch. His crossing has been outstanding, and he's playing little 1-2s and joining in. He's been excellent, but what you gain with that, you might just lose a little bit defensively in those 1v1 situations.
Wrexham get a free kick and the pressure ends. Okonkwo comes across to take it. Sometimes players can adapt and learn to play that position. I'm just thinking you repurposed Mark Harrington as a full-back, you know, and he did a very good job in that role and became a full-back essentially.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He had real qualities, did Mark, and yeah, but you should have told me that after 6 minutes when he had scored an own goal against Braintree after I played him.
Wrexham knock it long. It comes back into the Wrexham half. Cleworth wins the header. It's hooked over the top. That's a clever idea. Higher blaster, but Ohio won't get there. Hyam clears. Taken well in the chest by Longman, and now needs to find a teammate as he turns. Pings it into the feet of Sheaf. Nicely done. He just feeds it across to Cleworth, and he stands at one for Moore to chase. The fade on the ball just about allows Bindon to let the ball run out of play for a throw-in. Level the edge of the Sheffield United area, left-hand side. This has been breathless though. I've got to say, Big Len hits nail on the head on Ars Wrexham as well, saying to think on Facebook they talk about Windass being useless and only here for a paycheck. I mean, yeah, you hear people saying things like that. I can't get my head round that at all. I mean, you see his quality. As McCallum spears the ball up to the halfway line. Well run in midfield by Sheaf, but ball comes back to Hamer, and Hamer is really looking classy. He switches the ball across to Chong on the right-hand side. And now it's O'Hare feeding it forwards. Chong brings it back to him. Wrexham got back into that mid-block, but we haven't looked quite so secure as Sheffield United's ability to mix it up in their movement. Hamer drifting inside and popping up in all sorts of places. But Wrexham, oh wow, Wrexham have pressed really well there. And a referee suddenly decides he's going to give free kicks for minimal physical contact when Longman manages to nick the ball away from McCallum. I think that's a bit unfortunate considering how he's refed it so far.
Yeah, absolutely. That on the basis of some of the decisions, I think that one is a bit soft. I thought Longman didn't really make too much contact at all, if any.
Hyam, well, Bamford running into him rather than looking at the ball. Ref doesn't penalise that. Longman's got there, clears. Thomason manages to cushion it up, and Broadhead's brought it down nicely. Thomason now has got a diagonal on for Windass. He looks slightly ahead of play to me. He's barged off the ball. No foul given. I'd argue Hamer can do that if he's challenging for the ball, but if he isn't, and he wasn't, that's a bit of a dangerous thing to do, really. Fair enough going shoulder to shoulder if you're trying to beat someone to it, as the keeper gets a pass wrong throw-in. That could have been a free kick, I thought. Windass quickly to Moore, he spins well, gets to the goal line, and it's a good tackle, but Bindon can't stop it going for the corner. We've asked questions to the Sheffield United defence.
But they've asked questions of ours as well.
Yeah, true.
It's been a brilliant game. The top end of the pitch has been exceptional. Both teams, their movement's been class. The quality's been real top draw. And the defenders are struggling to keep up.
Thomason walks across with his left arm raised, signalling to his teammates. Again, they lurk beyond the far post. Same again, please, George. He signals once more. And now with the crowds splitting beyond the far post, he puts it with more height. Headed back, but not onto the pitch. It was a difficult one for Doyle. May have gone out before it reached him, to be fair. So goal kick to Sheffield United.
Yeah, it's more like the ones we've seen from Thomas in the last few weeks, those really deep ones, try and cause an issue from the second ball in, from that second header. And it's just maybe got a bit too much on it. Doyle has to really, he's coming from too deep, isn't he? So it's a difficult header to put back in. But you can see what they're trying to do, just mix it up a little bit and ask more questions of Sheffield United.
Longman gets it well to win a header against McCallum. Quick work by Rudeveld, finds O'Hare. Quick feet by O'Hare, and he goes scurrying down the left. That's a magnificent ball to Bamford, and Congo does well. Quick off his line, he made a decision straight away there, and he just beats Bamford to a glorious set-up play, that though, by Sheffield United's creatives. You know, Hamer was, like I say, Championship Player of the Year last season, as Windass dinks a lovely ball in midfield, well taken by Broadhead, and maybe hasn't quite got his rhythm going until the last few games, but that was beautiful by him, and O'Hare, who's been consistently superb this season for Sheffield United. Here's Doyle now. Sheffield United are very easy on the eye, aren't they, when they've got the ball? Doyle lifts it. It's a nice idea. Moore looks offside. Is offside. Yarb Tiedemann asks Wrexham, says, OK, so body slams with no ball contact illegal. Good to know. Yeah, that challenge by Hamer was it was a bit obvious, if nothing else. It invited the ref to do something.
Yeah, so if Windass does it to Hamer, if he goes with that same strength, is that going to be that's a free kick, isn't it? Because he's stopped him going and defending the ball. So I don't get it. Yeah,
I just think physical contact's fine when you're scrapping with a player. When you're barging into him to stop him challenging for it, it's a very different thing. Ah, well. Long ball forwards. Doyle's wrestling with Bamford, does well. He's lost out in the end, but again, Wrexham are working hard and they force Sheffield United back in the end to the keeper. I never realised I tend to say to the keeper and then the keeper's name until today when I'm saying to the keeper Cooper, and it just sounds really stupid. Cleworth lays her off and Cleworth goes ahead of Longman, who stands up a ball, but immediate disquiet from the crowd. It's giving the ball straight back to Sheffield United. Rudeveld now just knocking it around, first and second, touching their own half, trying to find space, trying to get players facing in the right direction so they can have a look at what's going on. And they're happy to do that until Rudeveld runs into trouble. Moore and Broadhead pressed him well. And now here's Windass. Longman's outside, but Windass is halted by Rudeveld, making a good challenge. Windass in a crowded area finds Sheaf. Sheaf helps on quickly. Thomason, pulls it back and doesn't get it right. Dole's managed to get a tackle in, but the idea was to tee him up for a shot or a cross. Wrexham get a throw, and the intensity of Wrexham's pressure just grows again. Here is Sheaf. Wrexham building across the back. Cleworth now.
Well, there was a really good run of Ryan Longman, who just noticed McCallum was sleeping a little bit on this left-hand side. He just didn't get used, but then did really well to win that ball back in the middle of the area.
And that's a lovely ball down the left. Thomason just beaten to his alert play by Sariki. Thomason then tackles, gets the throw in, takes it quickly. Broadhead, corner of the box once more. Flicks it over the top. Wrexham screaming for handball, and it's offside given. Well, the crowd are really stunned, not only because they wanted the penalty, but because there was no flag from the linesman. Of course, he could have said something, but you'd still expect him to put his flag up, wouldn't you?
Well, it didn't look right. As soon as the ref blew and put his hand up, I looked straight at the linesman, and like you say, he looked really reluctant to put his flag up. And obviously, as we know, could have had that word in the earpiece.
That is tight. Well, it's a definite handball, but it is so tight, the decision. I just don't think the linesman this side can see as far as Sariki behind him, so puts him offside.
Am I right? He handled it because he's putting his hand up to appeal for offside, which is an odd one. Moore gets a free kick in the halfway line, sarcastic anger from the crowd. But yeah, he stuck his hand up to appeal for offside and handled it. I think that was a sort of diplomatic decision then, whether they're going to go offside or not. It just felt like it was going to be it's going to be less hassle if it just give the offside.
Really good play by Wrexham though again. Love that little position Broadhead keeps picking up.
Here he goes again. Nice ball then behind Sariki, and he looks to shrug him off. The fullback stuck on him, and Wrexham get a throw right by the corner flag. Yeah, Broadhead's causing all sorts of problems. Referee getting booed as he goes near the Macron stand.
He just has that freedom with obviously Windass. Windass can go closer to Moore. He just has that freedom in behind. He knows he doesn't have to just get up on the scraps.
Cross comes in and it's deflected for a corner. Wrexham continuing to push on and put pressure on Sheffield United. It's Matty James on the in-swinger from the left-hand side, right-footed. Again, Broadhead on the keeper. Players lurking around the centre of the 6-yard box this time. Still Sheaf left unmarked in the D. James teases it in. Firm header by Bamford away. Sheaf is found, but with his back to goal. Helps it quickly on to the right. Doyle, good feet, back to Sheaf. He stretches, finds Doyle. Great return ball. Now then, Sheaf on the right. Sweeps us in. Far post header by Hyam. Big shout for handball. The referee doesn't give it. Hooks back in again. Windass tries to turn. Sheaf drills it. Defender blocks it. Ref gives a foul against Windass. It seems harsh. The crowd are furious. And I've got to say, I don't know. It looked like it was well worth a shout. Let's put it that way.
Oh, absolutely. Brilliant play by Doyle and Sheaf down this right-hand side. And it's a great win at the back post by Hyam. I think he leans into it, but he's got his arms out the way. Just looking at the replays. Oh, does it hit his arm as it's underneath his chest? I'm not going to call that one.
I don't think that's handball. I want it to be, desperately. If there is contact on his arm, it is handball because his arms are out. But to me, it looks like it's hit his torso. Damn ref, too good. There's more now fighting to try and hold the ball up. Matty James with a good foot in. But here comes Sheffield United again. O'Hare and the space between the lines, great balance to keep hold of it. Wrexham have put a lot of pressure on Sheffield United though and asked a lot of questions. Here is Sariki picking up a neat ball by Chong, headed away by Doyle. Miscontrolled by Riedeveld. The ref gives that one. Riedeveld miscontrols and it bounces up on his body and his hands. Is that handball? They'll give him 20 yards out for your own goal one day. So that's the moral of the story. Here's Doyle. That's a lovely idea. Finding Moore on the left. Moore allows Broadhead to take over. Sheffield United think it's gone out. The little decisions going Wrexham's way now. Wrexham will feel the big decisions haven't been. Doyle stands it over the top. Windass looks offside. He is offside again. But you feel, players running in behind, if they time it just a touch better, will get in behind. It's not as if they're going super early to get there.
Well, it's definitely on. Let's put it like that. Just can the centre halves, can Doyle especially, just see it a second quicker? Because if you can and just leave it in there, then they're going to be onside and in with a little bit of quality. What a game.
Tremendous, isn't it? Absolutely superb game. There's Cooper knocking it long. Doyle, good strength. Muscles Bamford out the way. Moore does well to win the header against Tanganga, but he has no one beyond him. Bindon back to Cooper. Cooper knocks it long. Doyle heading it up in the air. Does well at the second attempt, and again Broadhead is a great turn, just getting away from his man, driving forwards, feeds it looking for more. Bindon intercepted well. Bindon on loan from Nottingham Forest is a player who started the season poorly, and there was talk Wilder would be looking to send him back in January, but he settled really well into the team, and he was sharp there. Here he is on the edge of his own penalty area. Sheffield United are quite happy at the moment, just take a bit of sting out of this. Tanganga rather mishits his ball forwards. Hyam intercepts and comes surging forwards. Unlucky, tries to find Windass, who dropped off to offer a target. But Bamford done well to stick to him. And now again, Sheffield United just moving it around at the back. Such nice movements over the top. Up goes O'Hare. Hellinger drops deep and turns a lovely ball round the corner. And Arblaster feeds it on, looking for John Goodwell. Good cover by Doyle, and then a lifted ball down the left. Broadhead's always available on the left, cheating and staying up the pitch. He thinks he's won a throw, but he hasn't. And the ball carries through to Bamford now. Then Johnson marks on his right, feeds him in, shooting chance. He carries the edge of the 6-yard box, and Okonkwo stands it well. Corner. Good save by Arthur Okonkwo.
Yeah, well, it's a great chance for Sheffield United to just go two ahead, just ahead of the half-time whistle. It's Chong who it falls to. Patrick Bamford delays really well, just waits, puts that on a plate for him, and he's got to do better there. I think it's really good recovery, though, from Callum Doyle. It's just put him off.
Absolutely, and good to see Okonkwo after the Swans. He's made a couple of important stops. A one-on-one then, but he stood up well enough. Corner now, and away swinger from the right-hand side. Hamer is on it. Movement at the near post. The ball swung in, Park clears, and Wrexham will come away. Referee gives Wrexham a free kick when Wrexham had players charging at the pitch. I was quite surprised there wasn't more complaints from the Wrexham players there.
Yeah, this Sheffield United team, the front four, they just turn defence into attack so quickly with just a couple of passes. Hamer's been excellent in this first half. Hare, so good. Their movement is brilliant, and Hamer's the one that Max is having to go in, and he's leaving that hole down the side of him for Bamford and for McCallum down this left-hand side. So difficult to do because he's just one touch around the corner and Max has been dragged out.
And the start of that move then, which ended with the opportunity where O'Hare goes over the top, and when players start dragged back, that gives Hamer the chance to drop off and just pick it up and turn it around the corner. Bamford's dropped off as part of it. Lovely automations of plays. Longman's pass doesn't pick out Windass. The ball's clipped forwards. Bamford is isolated, but he juggles it neatly. Longman does well to get back at a foot end. Ball drops loose, and Doyle has to go to ground to scoop it out the pitch for the throw. 25 yards out on the left. McCallum will be able to, if they want to, send it certainly deep into the box. They're not setting up for a long throw. Short one instead. Hamer back to him. And he looks to work a little one to Riedewald. Long one goes to ground, gets a foot on it. Good pace by Matty James to stop it going for a corner. And he plays the long ball for Moore, who's been manhandled by Bindon while the ball's in the air and can't win it. In fact, he's taken a little knock in the mouth from Bindon and looks ruefully at his hand as he feels for blood as it's knocked long. Cleworth heads to the halfway, then Moore again battling, lays it off, but picked up by McCallum, who hoists it over the top. Cleworth takes it well on his chest. We've nearly completed the 2 added minutes. Matty James as well to win it from O'Hare. Good strength by O'Hare. Wins it from Longman. Brought Bamford now edge of the box as he bought a free kick. The referee blows for half time rather than a foul in the shooting position for Sheffield United. And that brings to an end a half which has been full of drama and excitement. Remember, you can go over across now to Wrexham's YouTube channel, where Andy and Mia will be joining Chris Malabans to talk about the first half, or you can stick with me and we'll look through your comments on Ask Wrexham. Fire across anything you want me to talk about. As Natalie said on Ask Wrexham, could do with another equaliser just before the whistle. Absolutely. Didn't quite come, but this is quite the setup, isn't it? Goodness me. Ooh, Philip Roberts says, as sometimes happens, the iFollow audio seems to be a couple of seconds ahead of the video, which gives the impression that Mark can predict the future. Well, you know, I didn't like to say I like that you've paired that with a a meme of Fry from Futurama. Not sure if I follow audio as a head or if Mark is psychic. Well, like Fry, I always wear a tinfoil helmet just to make sure that nobody can read my brainwaves, because I don't want people intercepting stuff and maybe putting bets on horse races when I know the result before the race starts. That's why I wear the Fry style helmet. People who watch Futurama are probably thinking, okay, we can see where you're going. Everyone else is just thinking, no. Goodness me, JD Troll showing a love for Arthur. Yeah, good to see a couple of important stops and a good save coming out at feet. So it's been a promising first half for him, because of course he's, after what happened at Swansea, he just needs that moment of confidence. And I was there deep into his defence, and he's just put out for a throw, and we can just deal with it. But we actually did concede that throw in, didn't we? Unfortunately, still, that's got to be down to how we defend it rather than the keeper. Big Len saying Brody is fast. I've been critical of him and still think he needs to beef up a bit, but he sure has pace. So I really like Broadhead. I think he's got an awful lot of attributes at this level to do brilliantly well. I mean, he's already, despite not having continuity, chipped in with a fair amount of goals compared to his starts, and you can really see that his facility on the ball, the way he'll receive the ball coming at awkward heights or on the run, and he can tame that ball, juggling along and run at players. And he's a good presser, isn't he? He nicks the ball off players neatly. He wins a fair amount of the ball in the opposing half. But yeah, his pace with and without the ball is a real threat. Wrexham reader saying Wrexham get a clear-cut penalty. Referee Andrew Kitchen and his crew make an incorrect offside call instead. I mean, I don't know whether there are better replays shown on Sky that we would be able to spot. It looked very tight from what we'd seen. Looked to be like he might have been just marginally offside, but it was odd the way it happened. The lines are not flagging. I'm not saying he didn't say to the ref that's offside, but when it's done like that, it can look a little bit suspicious, can't it? Like the referee is thinking, oh God, he's not giving the offside. Well, I bet it has. Otherwise, we've got a controversial moment on our hands. It would have been brilliant to see a penalty given for someone handballing because he appealed for an offside. That would be a first on me, certainly. Pretty sure I've never seen it before. So, I don't know. Yarb Tina says, I wonder what side this ref is on. I seem to remember we weren't thrilled with him at Hull. But hey. Oh, nevertheless, says, it was a delightful Wrexhamus indeed. I was very good this year. And some impressive looking things, Wrexham related stuff. Wrexham stockings, classy. Oh, my word. And that, I don't know, what sort of vehicle is that? Some sort of three-wheeled madness? But I did ask before the game, brag about your presence, and that is good work. Ruby Slipper says that Wrexham stocking is amazing. It certainly is. Oh, wowee. Steve Kunsley put up a gif from Oliver. Please, sir, may I have some more? But with two O's, of course. Lovely header by him. Tight Pale Droid says Darren Ferguson tried a quick free kick that worked once and then wasted countless shooting opportunities over the next few years trying to recreate it. That's my commentary on George Thomason's corners. You probably sent that in just before he actually set up Moore's header, though, eh? But yes, I remember that vaguely. Ferguson constantly looking for those early free kicks for runners who may or may not be on the same wavelength as him. I always remember a weird Ferguson free kick, which was a goal. Because they brought in a trial rule. Sometimes when they're thinking about changing the rules, there'll be trials announced and certain competitions will take them on. And so in the League Cup, I think it was all across British football for one season, but one season only. And I quite like this idea. if a player got a yellow card for dissent, the free kick that was given is moved forwards 10 yards, closer to their goal. Which is that a bad idea? I don't necessarily think it is. So we were playing a League Cup game against Mansfield, which weirdly was played at Notts County because Mansfield's pitch, actually the stadium was being rebuilt, and so we got a free kick about 30 yards out. Mansfield player starts having a pop at the ref. Ref gives the yellow card, and so the free kick is brought up to the edge of the area. So from being a position to cross, it's a position to shoot, and Ferguson slotted it beautifully in the bottom corner. We won that game, and we looked great to go through, and then we got hammered at the racecourse in the second leg. And Ferguson's ingenuity and the new rule came to naught. I don't remember it being used very often. And that rule wasn't made permanent. Sometimes you almost wonder if referees are scared of the controversy and stop booking people because they know that'll be the consequence. And it'll just lead to even more dissent. So, I don't know. Anyway, we've got the other temporary rule that I recall affecting Wrexham was in the latter years of us playing in the Welsh Cup, might have been the final year, No, it wasn't. It would be a couple of years before. The Welsh FA agreed to take part in a trial of a new rule. And it was a really stupid rule. I can't for the life of me work out what the logic of it was. You couldn't be offside if the ball was hit from the other half. Now, talk me through the benefits of that. I can't see them. To me, it just encourages long ball football as opposed to intelligent passing football. But that was the rule, and of course the Welsh teams have got used to it. We were playing in the Welsh Cup against Bangor City. We weren't used to it, and they basically, if you think about that rule, you can't be offside. Oh, has my microphone just gone weird? Right, okay. Oh yeah, that sounds better. Sorry, my microphone or my head, something just went very strange then, but it all seems to be back now. If it cut out, apologies. If it didn't, I ain't apologising for nothing. If you think about it, what that rule does, not being offside if the ball's hit from your own half, is it encourages goal hangers. For those of you who aren't used to this great British tradition, a goal hanger in a schoolyard game, where obviously there'd be no offsides and things like that, would just stand around next to the other side's goal, and when the ball goes up there, just score goals, and you'd be universally hated for just standing about and tapping the ball in the net all the time. But this actually made it possible in proper football. And so Bangor had a couple of chances. I don't think they scored from one, but I could be wrong, from players just standing on the edge of the box miles offside and us forgetting. And they'd hoof it to him and then he'd try and score. But we got the winning goal through adapting to it in the end. Lee Jones, who was a very quick, good striker, who ended up signing for Liverpool, played for Wales. He basically stood offside and we knocked it forwards. We won 3-2. Were it not for we looked better than that. But if it wasn't, I think, for the fact that Bangor were familiar with a really bizarre and extreme rule change, I think we would have won more comfortably. But as it was, Lee Jones scored a winning goal by suddenly thinking, hang on a second, I can just stand here and no one's going to be able to do a thing about it. And we put him 1-on-1 and he scores. So that's the end of my lengthy lecture on how rules sometimes are trialled in football and it's often daft. Let's have a look. Vic Schultz, I got a possible answer to this, but I'm not sure if it's going to be that good. Is it just me, or is the Blue Sky way to look at latest for a hashtag not working like normal? I usually click it, then go to latest, and almost nothing is showing up. I find it's inconsistent depending on how you go into a hashtag on Blue Sky. You either get the latest or you don't as well. So I think it's a strange one. Zach says it's the hope that kills you. Come on. We're right into this. And Chris Malika says, by the way, got given Wrexham socks and scarf for Christmas. Will wear for the second half. Absolutely quite right. I'll have to ask Andy and Mia what they get for Christmas sometime in a moment. I might even retell my tale of sporting glory from yesterday. Oh my word. Yarb is asking, what did Moore and Windass just say to each other, all secretive like? Or they didn't do that whole covering your mouth thing. I understand why people do that in a way. You know, these days you get all sorts of stories from lip reading what somebody might have said. But I think you look daft when you put your hand over your mouth to hide your lips from the camera. Oh, looks a bit dodgy to me. I don't know. Jarvis reckons that one was saying to the other, this ref sucks. Feasible? Possible? They don't want to fine? They don't want to ban? Did we have good Christmases?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent.
Fine, yes, just a very, very quiet mum and dad round and the family. So, yeah, bit of food, a few presents and a little glass of wine. Was very tidy, very quiet. Thanks, Mark.
Excellent.
Yeah, very similar for me. Thanks, Mark.
You went around to Andy's?
No, we spent enough beer together, I think.
Enough of me.
But no, yeah, very nice day. Had the Wrexham Christmas jumper on, so always representing. And yes, lovely Boxing Day to follow so far as well. Just need, hopefully, another positive second half and, you know, hopefully flip the switch and get ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an awful lot of the Arse Wrexham comments have been just sort of linked around trying to sync our commentary with the Paramount Plus broadcast. We need to do something again. We need to bribe somebody in the FL to accidentally press the switch to put us on Paramount again, don't we? Still haven't had those residuals from the 2 times that they've accidentally used us. But Chris Malika saying, I'd like to see Ollie and Dobbo together. I mean, let's be honest, Dobson not starting here probably means he'll start against Preston. I mean, Sheaf and... It'd be interesting to see what we do off the bench, and that so often we've had Sheaf not been able to put in the 90 and James replacing him. Well, we're going to have to change our shape, the dynamics in midfield, or not, or give Sheaf the 90, in which case probably Preston, I don't know, I assume it'd be a bridge too far for him.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing about today. It's not going to be like for like, is it, in that middle of the park? When you do look at the likes of Ollie Rathbone, obviously George Dobson, and, you know, even adding Jay Rodriguez and Sam Smith to that as well. You know, if we're still chasing this game, how many of that trio do you actually just leave on? And we've seen it over this season already a few times when, you know, Phil Parkinson has decided to just really go for it, and it has paid off. So interesting to see how this shapes up. I just really hope in this second half Wrexham have that same attacking intent and really go for it again and put the foot down on the gas pedal, if you like. Because when they've done that, when they did that in that first half, Sheffield United looked in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, won't it, as well? Another option is Kakache is on the bench, which is wonderful. Thomason could slot inside. I would say maybe more for Bolton than for us. You know, I felt sometimes he could play more in that deeper role, that sort of double pivot role that Sheaf and James are executing today, although he tends to be more on the front foot when he played this season for us, isn't he?
Yeah, well, we haven't got the Broadhead for Windass or Windad for Broadhead swap, because they've obviously both started, and I think Broadhead has been excellent in that first half. He's asked a lot of questions of the back line of Sheffield United. Yeah, I don't think he'd be too worried. I think he'd just see how it goes. Like we say, we've got Jay Rodriguez who could come on and play possibly one of those 2 positions. Sam Smith could come on for Kiefer if we need a bit of explosion up there. So I think there's definitely options he's still got, and I wouldn't be too concerned at the moment. I'd just take it to them. If we can keep it a little bit tight, know where Bamford is whenever the ball's out wide, that's important. Go and lock onto him, don't let him run free. If we could do that, deal with the crosses, then we've got so much threat going forward, which we haven't had, and we've said in the past few games, haven't we? You know, we've not really looked like we're going to create anything. Well, today is completely the opposite. We look like we're going to create, but we look a little bit more open, and that's that yin and yang and how much you give to being a more attacking threat to then holding and keeping your shape and protecting what you've got. It's not easy.
I like it, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like us. Have Sheffield United worked hard enough for their goals? Maybe not. Was that a problem at the start of the season? Yes, it massively was, and we tidied it up and fixed it well. But I do like the way we've been when we've had the ball, and I just wonder maybe if, and it's not a criticism of Thomason, who I think has done very well on the left, Have I just cut out for you? No. Right, okay. I had this problem during halftime, and I now know it's just my headphones. Occasionally they just stop working. Well, that's a relief. We do have those options. They're interesting. Kakache coming on the left could maybe tighten that up a little bit. And in terms of what we do today off the bench, well, it's going to be unpredictable for Sheffield United, isn't it? Because we don't know what we're going to do. Phil Parkes, I'm sure, does have those scenarios mapped out as we start up again, and Keeper Cooper drills it down along the flank, and Cleworth intercepts, drives it away, gets a goal kick. I've got to say, Vic Schutz said that my Keeper Cooper realisation made the whole room laugh. Yeah, I'm scared of tripping over that again. Got a Keeper Cooper Pooper Scooper for McCann for Christmas. There, got that out of my system now, I feel better. Janie Troll, meanwhile, and how's about this for a proper sort of Christmas die-hard style drama? Janie Troll's got to feed the neighbour's cat at half-time. 7 minutes there and 7 minutes back. Do you live in a desert? I think I'll be back before the second half. Just no more goals from Sheffield while I'm gone. Absolutely. Will you make it? Let us know. As Moore goes down, runs in a foul, doesn't get it. I say no more goals from Sheffield once you're back as well, if you don't mind. Cooper knocks it long. Thomason wins a good header there against Chong, who's taller. Just. And it's a throw in the halfway line. Sheffield United's 3-2 up, and they've been given a proper test here. That's great work by Broadhead, who wins it back and is unlucky. Tries to feed it inside, but picks out Riedeveld, beg your pardon. And Sheffield United again at the back. How have they changed things round to deal with what Wrexham are doing as well? Because we were getting so much space, especially down at left-hand side. It's a nice little pass inside to Arblaster, who feeds it back to Hamer. Nice ball again to the edge of the area. He's very accurate passing on the move. James back to Okonkwo, pings the ball forwards. Moore can't quite get there. It's killed by Sariki and then helped wide. Chong cuts inside. Sariki's gone outside him. And again, just good movement by Sheffield United. Arblaster out wide. Sariki onto Chong, who's by the corner flag. Wrexham have two players over there. But that's the thing, Sheffield United dragging Wrexham players around and then hitting the spaces they've left. As Arblaster feeds it to the edge of the area. Nice little ball. Hamer's able to turn, feeds it wide. Cross comes in first time. Firm challenge by Hyam, puts it behind for the corner.
It's really good football by Sheffield United to just start off this second half. Wrexham haven't really had a sniff so far in the opening 3 minutes or so. They just work it from right to left really well, and ends up with a really good block in there from Dom Hyam in the middle. Really important one.
So in swinging corner from the left. You know, we've looked solid defensively all season. Defending the box, we've done well, but Sheffield United move it so quickly and move so quickly. The sort of team that can open that up. Here comes the corner, floated to the near post, helped on, but helped over the bar. Just difficult angle for Bindon to get a proper contact on.
Well, it looked like he got ahead of it, and he was free to make a header on goal, but I don't know if Sheaf just does enough to put him off. Maybe getting a clean header on it.
Here come Wrexham now. Oh, it's overhit pass to Cleworth, though. He can't keep that in. It's throwing Sheffield United having slightly the better of a slow start of this second half. Hamer feeding it back to McCallum, who goes all the way back to Cooper. Wrexham yet to really get the ball and get at Sheffield United in this half. Cooper stands it long, good header clear. It's put in by Longman, and Thomason does really well to win that. Unlucky Broadhead just can't quite bring her under control. And Sariki sends Chong away running at Doyle. Doyle showed him outside. Chong obliges, then cuts inside neatly, but that just gives Wrexham enough time to recover. Sheafed as well, coming across and winning the ball back. Broadhead back in his own half, accelerates beyond two men. That's a brilliant diagonal run by him, and then he spreads it. He's put a lot on that though, and Longman won't keep it in. But he gets a good round of applause. Good defensive hard work, even though the pass wasn't quite right. Yeah,
there's not many, though, is there, that'll start from where he does start from. try and go on one of those bursting runs forward and keep the ball the whole time. And you can see what he's trying to do. He just needs Longman there to be a bit more alive to it, really, and just get into that space. I'm not saying the ball was good, because it really wasn't, but he just needs his wing back there to help him out a little bit more.
Yeah, I got to admit, there's part of me thinking, well, shouldn't Longman have seen that and made that run? Is Broadhead entitled to pop it out wide? Because surely Longman is there, but it didn't happen. And now here's Doyle picking out Thomas, and Wrexham looking to just get a bit of possession going. Broadhead tries a cute little flick, but that doesn't come off. And the ball is back with Sheffield United. Arblas, that's a cute little ball around the corner. O'Hare. Chong accelerates in field. Plays a little exchange with Hamer, who then... it's a ball, I think it was aimed at Hamer. It was inaccurate by Riedewald, and now Wrexham have it back. Can they break? Broadhead goes a little deep as he receives the ball. There's not many players ahead of him, and as a result, again, Sheffield United get into their shape, and Wrexham are going to have to try and move the ball around and get it up the pitch. Windass has dropped deep to try and string things together. Works it inside nicely. Broadhead takes it well, accelerates past this man. It's crowded in the middle. Hamer's got back. Good covering run. He covers a lot of ground, Hamer. Good first time ball in by Thomason, though. He drags players away, and then Windass picks it up on the left. Works it round the back. Thomason's onside. Chips to the far post. And it's there! Ryan Longman, his first goal at the race course. And Wrexham, after a quiet start to the half, strike with our first real spell of possession. Longman gets it up so well, but Thomason, well, this guy's not a wing back. Well, he crosses like one. That was a lovely build-up and a great delivery. Longman made it his.
Yeah, wing back to wing back. It's brilliant play, like you say, Mark, down this left-hand side. Just little triangles. They just work it really well. It's a great run in behind from George Thomason. He just lifts it, doesn't he, towards that back post. And Longman makes no mistake this time, gets in front of his man. He's powerful. Gets up so well. Back of the net, 3-3.
Well, it's why you play Broadhead and Windass, because that's what they can do when they can get an attacking ball. They can just play with each other and keep the ball. It's a brilliant header because he comes from the blind side, left it up there for him. Looks like McCallum's got it all day, and he just absolutely takes it out the air. Full pelt past the keeper for 3-3. Another brilliant cross.
And there's Thomason winning it from Chong, and then hitting a great diagonal. And Wrexham come forwards again. Windass on the right. We said there'd be at least 6 goals in this, didn't we? Windass feeds it into Sheaf, and he pops it backwards. Wrexham man's making great noise. Chong a little lucky there, because he thought he was fouled. He seems to take a bit of a swipe at Longman with his foot. Didn't make contact, thankfully for him. It was a very petulant movement. Now here's Doyle coming forwards. The crowd are loving this. Doyle has accelerated past Thomason, using the space he's created again. And here again, Broadhead and Windass in close proximity, as they were when they helped to combine and tee up for that goal. And Windass just drifting around more, isn't he? And creating these little overloads.
Yeah, well, just in those opening 5 minutes or so, Windass, I don't think, touched the ball that much. So he had to drop him really deep to come and get on it, and that's how the build-up all starts with him. He loves to do that. He just wants to be on the ball, be creative, and he does so well, like you say. Him and Nathan Broadhead could be a really good sign of some really good things to come for Wrexham with them two on the pitch at the same time.
And he does what Hamer does. Hamer starts in position on the left. Oh, so hang on, it's well won back. That again by Sheaf, and there's a good ball by Broadhead. Windass, right-hand side, Moore's in the middle. Windass drills a good save. Broadhead volleys it back in. Difficult volley, can't control it. Goes off target. Wrexham are tearing at Sheffield United now. Brilliant stuff, this.
Yeah, it's the front three again. Goes into Broadhead in a really good position, and he finds Windass. Windass's first touch is brilliant. Can he hit it across the keeper and keep it low? He hits it sweet enough, keeper good hands on it, and it just falls to Broadhead a little bit too quickly. He can't react quick enough to get the shot on target, but once again, those front three tearing this United team apart going forward.
Long kick by the keeper, and it's well won by Cleworth. Heads it into the Sheffield United half. And now they must begin again. But like I said, Hamer drifts around, comes inside, makes little overloads. Windass is doing the same, and just asking questions of Sheffield United, which we exploited for that goal. And Thomason coming forward just looks like he's played wing back all his life. Ball knocked long. Hyam has to let it bounce. As a result, doesn't get much on his header, but it's good work again by Sheaf, who claims it back. More under pressure, turns and does well, wins a free kick and plays it quickly. It's not. Oh, the referee says rolling ball. Oh, that's frustrating, because a quick free kick had set Wrexham up for a breakaway. James now clips over the top. Nice idea, Broadhead. Round the back of the defence, accelerates, keeps it in. Oh, it doesn't. Thought he got there, to be honest, but.
Well, he did, but his foot didn't. His studs didn't let him. Again, quick thinking from the free kick, though. Little dink ball over the top to Broadhead. Good support from Thomason. He just couldn't quite wrap his foot around it to keep it in.
That's what they've done really well, though, today. Wrexham just unlucky with that. Keeper Moore one, like you say, he tries to do it quickly off the free kick, but they've wanted to do things, immediately today, off the start, straight away, and catch Sheffield United out.
He's more accelerating after that. Bindon heads it out of play for the throw in the halfway line.
Well, Sheffield United have been a bit of a risk and reward team. They're happy to leave 5 up. Chong leaving himself up. McCallum going right forward, even playing with a back 4. Just happy to go and try and put pressure on, because on turnover they're so quick they can cause a lot of problems. It's just defensively they leave themselves a little bit open to what we've been doing, which is countering really quick.
Nice work again by Sheaf, keeping the ball running, moving quickly right to left. Thomason pings her inside. Wrexham full of movement. Sheffield United really compressing the space between the halfway line and the edge of their area as Hyam pings a big diagonal, but it's comfortably won in the air by McCallum. And the ball in the end goes back to Cooper. Drills it right-footed. Chong backing into Doyle. And as a result, Doyle can only head it square, but again, Sheaf is there. Nice first touch, and turns and finds Thomason, who loves scurrying forwards, his head down. Having driven players back, he then finds Sheaf, and he pearl of a ball out to the right. Longman has got Windass making a run, finds him. Windass now has dragged Bindon out from the middle. Across is deflected. Another corner to Wrexham. And the crowd making great noise.
Again, I think that's so much better from Longman, though. Last few weeks, maybe a couple of scenarios like that where he's just held on to it and maybe in the end been forced to go backwards. He knows he's got the defender in front of him and he still wants to play that ball into the box, and it forces the corner, which, as we've seen already in this game, has caused Sheffield United problems.
Here comes then an away swinger. That's quite rare from Wrexham. Matty James signals, floats it in, and it's headed away firmly, and might remain rare. Now Thomason having to defend here as Hamer's doing well to put pressure on. Longman goes back in the end to Okonkwo. Okonkwo was right to wait because Wrexham were quite slow getting back into onside positions. It's firmly headed away when he knocks it. O'Hare miscontrols well, read again by Sheaf. Broadhead lays it on to Moore. Moore now gets the turn. Sheaf in space on the left, he finds him. Moore's on his way to the far post. Sheaf taking on his man, pulls it back. Matty James squares it on. Thomason's slotted in the middle of the pitch now. There's Sheaf staying out wide. Cleworth pops the little ball to Windass and carries on his way. And Windass looks to play the killer ball over the top. Just too much on it, and Sheaf can't get it in. But lovely idea again. It's exciting watching these creative players looking to express themselves.
Yeah, I didn't think he needed to go so acute with his angle. He just could have gone straight into Sheaf, who had loads of space over this side. Like you said, Thomason had rotated inside, so Sheaf rotates out. That's good play.
Sankanga goes back. This thing about us being a couple of seconds ahead of the TV pictures in the States, Vic Schutz has turned to his advantage, saying everyone in the room gets excited and locks in this on. Oh, hang on, here's danger. Ball fed forwards. What a fuss in that is by Doyle. Just brilliant. And James does well. There was a real danger then, and Doyle managed to keep his balance, stretch backwards and intercept a through ball. James then battled for the second, and Wrexham have the ball safely. Yeah, Vic says everyone in the room gets excited and locks it on the screen when they hear us getting excited, so we can see what we're getting excited about. Let's hope I don't see a squirrel, because you'll get a real false alarm then. Here come Wrexham down the right-hand side. Neat little ball around the corner to Windass by Longman. Longman's gone accelerating down the line. Windass tries to scoop it to him, and the linesman says there's a double ricochet. And although Windass sprinted to get the ball, he then gives up without dissent. He obviously acknowledges it was a throw to Sheffield United. Not that the Wrexham fans agreed over on the Macron stand. So there's a lull. Sheffield United's have a sub looking like he may be getting stripped off in the back row of the dugout, and the ball's knocked over the top of Wrexham's defence. And Okonkwo grabs hold of it, bowls his house.
Pick it up, the shout from behind us. Yeah, good idea, mate, thanks.
It's never a bad idea, is it? And here comes Thomason now coming forward. He lets Broadhead take over. Wrexham moving it around on the left-hand side in the Sheffield United half, just drawing players to them now. They're starting to shift it out from there. Fed back in by Matty James. Doyle on the halfway line. Broadhead's made a run. Doyle, who attempted to hit Windass. The ball was on about 5 minutes ago and just didn't quite, just cuts across her a bit too much. Doesn't play it this time. Oh dear, Longman, I'm not sure what that was. Just played it blind round the corner and gave it away. And that's a shame because Wrexham's passing movement was nice. Sheffield United feed it back into their own half. The crowd here, 10,611, 1,247 from Sheffield have made the 2-hour trip on Boxing Day. Traditional football day, of course. Doyle on his weaker foot knocks it to the halfway line. Moore wins a good header, but no one's close enough to him. But having said that, that's a brave little stoop by Sheaf, and Riedewald gets his foot too high. Free kick on the halfway line to Wrexham.
Yeah, it's really brave from Ben Sheaf. He knows that a foot's going to come in. He still goes full pelt to win that ball. Again, though, good striker play from Kiefer Moore, win the first header. It just causes problems. Gets put back into that area where Riedewald is just not quite sure where that ball's going to drop.
So from the free kick, Thomason squares it, Broadhead feeds it into the area. Oh, that's unlucky. Moore's run right to left, dragged a centre-back across, made a huge hole in the middle of Sheffield United's defence. Broadhead's pass just wasn't quite in Windass's path, or he would have been able to run through on goal.
Yeah, well, if Windass takes the space rather than the same similar run to Moore, then he has the ball at his feet at 18 yards out. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit overhit. It just rolls past, but again, the relationship of those three showing signs of flourish.
Absolutely, and Sheffield United are going to make a change, which is a comment on how this game has gone, really, that Chris Wilder is feeling he needs to make a change. Chong is coming off. He's worked hard on the right-hand side in that 4-2-3 well. Like I said before, Wilder does tend to change around his shapes, around the way that they set themselves up. He doesn't necessarily always play the 4-2-3. Well, he'll usually keep the back four. Burrows has come on in his place, and he's a more direct attacking player, certainly. Are they going to go to a more narrow shape? He can play sometimes a sort of 4-2-2-2. Let's see if that's what they're looking to do now as Wrexham come out, and there's loads of space on the left where Chong was, and O'Hare is shrugging as if to say, well, who's out there now? Well, a little moment of confusion, but Thompson didn't drive forward, so fans felt he should. O'Hare trying to put pressure on. Hyam clips to the halfway, and Moore's shirt being pulled by Tanganga. Ref doesn't spot it. Tanganga's one of the centre-backs, does a lot of his work before the ball arrives, just keeping tight on the target man and making sure he's impeding him. And now Cooper knocks it to the halfway line. Well judged header by Doyle, who's been excellent again today. Windass can't get to it. And now it's the ball to Burrows, the substitute. The first touch feeds it inside. O'Hare goes down rather easily. The referee says not enough contact for a foul. Matty James helps it on to Windass, tight on the right flank. He's done well to keep possession. And now Wrexham will look to build again from the back. O'Hare's playing off Bamford now. And yeah, behind them, it looks a little bit more narrow, though. Burrows is trying to get out on the flank as Broadhead pings the ball across deep in his zone after James. They've drawn Sheffield United up to the halfway line, and Moore wants it over the top. It isn't delivered. But here now is the ball into the feet of Moore, who turns it around the corner. Clip over the top by Longman is intercepted by Bindon, who drills a good ball. Burrows heads it down square now then. Danger. O'Hare driving through the centre, works it back out wide once more. Ball fed in early. Burrows tight angle, drills it across the face, and O'Hare attacking it. Went through his legs at the near post. I don't know if he was trying to do a little cute back heel into the net. It could have worked. Wrexham survive. Arblaster squaring it. Hamer. Riedewald. Wrexham having to sit in that mid-block as Sheffield United move it around. Riedewald again, caught in possession. Moore did well. Sheaf comes out with the ball. He's tripped by Hamer and the referee's gone to his pocket. And rightly, because not only was it a bit of a lunge, but also Wrexham were really getting into a nice position there.
Well, they hunted in couple there. Sheaf and Moore all going in to try and take the ball off Hamer. Did so well, but Sheffield United just turned defence into attack so quickly down that left-hand side. And it's Max. Max carries on, and that slight pass that wasn't quite right, they just exploit that situation so easily.
Long ball in the box. Broadhead got goal side of the defenders. It's headed away. Crowds were really shocked as Wrexham win a handball. Good work. Oh, throwing rather. Thomason charging it down as well. He takes a quick throw, and it doesn't work out. Broadhead is bundled off the pitch. Nice idea though, and good work to close it down.
But it wasn't a great throw for him, was it? Bouncing up by his midriff and heading out quite skiddy off the grass out. Thomason does give him a little hand of sorry to the pass for the throw, sorry, but again, good quick thinking though.
It's a goal kick. When that ball was played in and Broadhead was running in behind, the Wrexham fans were squeaking in shock. It was weird. As O'Hare helps it on. Bamford goes down in the box. Ref gives a free kick just outside. Ooh, and immediately goes to his pocket to put the spray down. And he gives a yellow card to, is it Hyam or Cleworth? Hyam, isn't it, I think? But, wow, that was dangerous. And I did wonder for a moment whether that could be a possible red card situation.
Yeah, I think it's Longman, isn't it? Who's just gets caught out. I think it's a really nice ball from O'Hare. He just puts it in behind him, and it's Longman. He gets a touch on it at first, then it just breaks into Bamford's path, and he suddenly has to get back in there. I'm just waiting for a bit of a better angle on it, to be honest.
Yeah, it is outside, but again, it's a couple of times where we've had a couple of little ricochets, and it's just fell to the United players, and they've come out better for it. Couple off Longman, just nicks him, doesn't he? Just the clip is outside the box, he falls in. The free kick's outside. It's a really good position on the angle for maybe Hamer.
Yeah, it's a real chance this to get a shot off on goal. It was, the ref's done very, very well because it was very close to the box, but I think it is just outside. Whether Longman needs to do it, because Cleworth was getting across to Bamford. Bamford was certainly, I think, waiting for that contact. He anticipated it. Not saying it wasn't a foul. So Burrows and Hamer on the free kick. Ref gives the go ahead. Conco surely can't see much. Hamer drills it. Great save. That's a hell of a save, that. And the fans in front of us are on their feet applause in the Conco after what happened at Swansea. That's brilliant. But keeper's side, but he can't see it, like I said, till late. And it's a hell of a strike. Great save.
It's so easy for a keeper to just take an inch to his right, to just anticipate the one that's going over the wall. Hamer hits it, goalie side. It's going right in the side netting, but Okonkwo's held firm.
Yeah, you look at it from that angle, you can see it's really, he still has a stretch for it. Hamer puts it in with height at the far post, headed in the goal mouth. O'Hare gets his header all wrong. Wrexham with a foul, not given. Oh, it is given, belatedly. Doesn't matter if it's late, as long as it's right. Wow, that was a chance, though, surely for O'Hare. And he just misjudged his run that time and ended up heading it away from goal.
Yeah, I think it's McCallum who wins that one. That header at the back post, heads it right back in there. And you're just thinking it's going to be similar to one we've seen earlier, where it just gets headed right back in. And it's O'Hare, he just doesn't get it right at all.
21 minutes left. Still anyone's game. 3-3. And goodness me, it's been superb. Really, Sheffield United's first proper spell of pressure in the second half. Wrexham have done well. As Cleworth looking to keep it on side as well. Finds Moore, he does well, just cushions it back. Wrexham got a bit of space on the left here. Now Thomason sets himself, drills it in, hits Sariki on the back. Clever little ball in by Thomason. Picked up by Sheaf. The upright style of his under pressure. Finds Doyle, who drills a shot. Takes a deflection, corner. He strikes the ball beautifully, doesn't he, Doyle? It's like
it's left footers, isn't it? They just look lovely on the eye when they do hit through it. Doesn't really set himself. He doesn't look like he wants to shoot, but then thinks, oh, If nobody's going to come and close me down, I may as well.
So, away swinger. Thomason to take. Players split at the far post, and the referee's given a foul. Well, he's blown his whistle, but he's actually telling Wrexham to retake it.
Yeah, they've gone for away swingers in this half, and I don't understand why, because we've scored from an in-swinger.
Call me old-fashioned, but I'm inclined to see it that way as well. Something works. Don't have to reinvent it, do you? We played in-swingers pretty much all season, haven't we? And we haven't threatened from a corner in the second half yet. But here comes Thomason again with the away swinger. Stands it up. Oh, the header towards goal is well blocked. It wasn't a bad ball into the edge of the box. It was Cleworth who died a full stretch, and then, wow, Longman blasts the ball. Thomason brilliantly to keep it in with his head, and then Broadhead brought it down beautifully, works a 1-2. Crowd wanted to shoot, he plays a reverse ball to Moore, who turns. Good defending that, but Wrexham in the corners, Doyle pressures. Bindon stuck to Moore like glue and just wouldn't give him the space to hit the shot on target.
Yeah, well, it's a lovely hidden pass from Nathan Broadhead. You just feel we're at perfect angle that he's just going to wrap it round and have the effort on goal, but he spots Kiefer Moore hiding. He finds him so well, and Kiefer Moore just can't quite take it in and find that space to get the shot away.
So in swinger this time, beyond the far post and headed in towards goal. Good save. Driven back in by Sheaf in the goal after ricochets. Hit the post, the inside of the post, and ricocheted out. Unbelievable escape that. Broadhead it was with the final shot. Diving header cleared by O'Hare. This is nuts. As here now is Matty James dinking it in. Looks offside, does it, Doyle? Yeah, he is. But wow, that Wrexham have had a really good, long, intense spell of pressure. And listen to the crowd applaud it.
Yeah, well, it was from the corner again, wasn't it? It worked it really well. I think it's Ollie Arblaster again on the line. This time, the other end in this second half. Making sure it gets that ball away from danger. But you just felt it was going to end up in the back of the net, didn't you? From the first Ben Sheaf one, who hits it back in. Then it dropped to Nathan Broadhead. But Sheffield United do really well to get bodies in the way.
Oh, that was utterly frantic, wasn't it? A good
save. It's a great save to start. And then off the follow-up, it's a great block. Doesn't hit the post, it hits.
Beg your pardon, yeah.
It's one of the players on midriff. And then Arblaster off the line.
Yeah, his second clearance off the line. Goodness me.
Just don't sense that this game's done
no.
for goals.
Oh, 100%. It's been superb, hasn't it? And whatever outcome, again, Wrexham have saved their best performances when you play the strongest teams in this division. I know Sheffield United are beneath us, but let's be honest, they're not going to be beneath us. Well, they're not going to be down there for long, certainly. But once again, just like with Coventry, just like with Middlesbrough, Wrexham puts it on, but once again, Tanganga's just clinging on to Moore. The referee doesn't give the foul. And the ball's fed over Wrexham's defence. Doyle intercepts comfortably, feeds it on. Sheaf, lovely touch to Broadhead. It's all too tight in the end, and Bindon, who's been dragged up the pitch, is able to just nip in and claim the ball. But yeah, this has been gripping from start to finish. Hyam wins a header. Longman hurried, helps it away a bit further. And now on 30 yards out, the ball is brought down well by O'Hare. Crunching tackle comes in again by Thomason. But here once more comes Sheffield United, looking to put pressure on until an overhit pass goes out of play, ushered out of play comfortably by Doyle. He's been terrific, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been superb. Just looking at Sheffield United, not sure whether they've just tweaked their shape a little bit to maybe match Wrexham up a bit more. And I think most of that is to try and silence Wrexham's wing-backs a little bit, because they've been really lively today going forward.
Yeah, they've made a change. That's nice work by Broadhead, working it over to the left-hand side. Moore now has dragged Bindon out, sweeps across towards the far post. Important, headed away by Burrows. James cushions it down, edge of the D is Broadhead. Works it out to Longman, stands it in, looking for more. Bindon wins it. Sheaf brings it down and quickly helps it out wide. Thomason now, as Sariki turns the block across, it wasn't coming in. It's out to Sheaf and he sweeps it. Look at the Broadhead, nice idea. Defender gets a touch on it, McCallum, and it's caught under the bar by Davis. Good pressure again, but they went to that sort of narrow 4-2-2-2-ish looking shape, and and we just started getting at them down the sides. Bamford has come off now, and they look to just have a bit more width about them, and that's a decent looking pass forwards down the left hand side, but good cover by Cleworth and by Hyam. Hyam wins it back in the end and wins the free kick, a throw in rather.
Yeah, well, they've matched us up. They've gone 3-5-2. Callum O'Hare up next to, I think it's Campbell. It's come on.
Yeah, Tyrese Campbell's come on up front for Bamford. Alex Matos is on the right hand side. As Wrexham get a lucky ricochet. Broadhead's racing forwards now. Moore in support. Thomason trying to get there. Broadhead cutes ball to Moore. Hits it. Yes! Oh, that's tremendous. Absolute wildfire from Wrexham. Broadhead's little squeeze goal was beautiful. And Moore strikes again against his old club. We said it was a mistake to let him go, didn't we? Well, he's proven it. 2 goals, and that was something. What a lightning breakaway.
And look what it means. Tell you what, his name's getting sung very loudly in this place tonight. What a performance so far from this Wrexham attack. That trio have been absolutely superb. It's an absolute Christmas cracker. How'd you like him, Kiefer Moore?
Well, what a pass. Nathan Broadhead, he just slides it inside the 2 centre-halves. And you think Kiefer Moore's not going to get there, but he gets that long leg of his, wraps his toe around it and feeds it into the top corner for 4-3.
We've not been able to take advantage of a lot of breakaway situations this season. We get into them. Well, that was textbook, wasn't it? I mean, that ball by Broadhead, though.
The ball is absolutely magnificent. They've connected so well, those 3 today. They've been superb, but the finish as well. He does so well not to drag it, keep it on the floor. As the defender's sliding, Tanganga, he's got that one covered, so he lifts it. And Cooper's just absolutely beaten.
The Sheffield making another mistake and another, and Broadhead picks it up. Crunching tackle on him. Wow, I mean, Wrexham have really done themselves proud. Thomason leans onto Matos, free kick given. Sort of one he's not necessarily been given, but fair enough, he did lean onto him. It's a free kick in midfield, right on side. Wrexham fans are loving singing Kiefer Moore's name now. There's Matos complaining that Broadhead's not gone back 10 yards. Hamer is on the free kick. Wrexham holding a line just outside the box. Hamer whips it in with curve, and Moore is there to head it clear. Arblaster immediately feeds it out wide. Burrows sweeps a nasty ball in. Good header clear by Cleworth this time. Headed back in once more. And, well, not great strength up front to trying to win a free kick or penalty perhaps, but it's never going to be given. And Hamer's given a horrible pass under pressure. Mind you, it's a poor header away by Cleworth when Hamer just has to knock it forwards, and Burrows cuts in onto his right foot. Instead pulls the ball backwards. It's switched cleverly to the right hand side. Matos squeezes it down the line. Hamer beats Doyle, feeds a great ball in. It's blocked on the line. I think Okonkwo got the last touch on that, in which case that's a big save. And then a great ball by Broadhead, and Windass pings one over the top, looking for more in a race. It'll just bounce away from him for Cooper to get there and slash to the halfway line. But if like I say, if Okonkwo got a touch of that, it was very messy, but it could have been a scrappy goal. And I think if it was that's a big touch by Okonkwo.
Yeah, it was Okonkwo. It's a really good save. It's a really nice ball in, nice play from Gustavo Hamer. And it's Arblaster who gets on the end of it. Gets really good contact. And Okonkwo does ever so well. And then it's Ben Sheaf, I think, who actually takes a real risk in there, but does really well with his feet. Takes an extra touch before keeping possession of the ball for Wrexham. I just think now, in response to going ahead, I think they've just got to keep going for more. I just don't think we can sit in like we have in previous games. I think attack is best form of defence in this sort of scenario.
Absolutely, because we're getting at them, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's Okonkwo. What a brilliant save. Low down.
Oh, Wrexham worked out beautifully on the left-hand side, and Broadhead is in. Thomason outside, if he feeds Thomason in, that's a penalty every day of the week. A wild challenge. But Wrexham are on fire getting forwards. And the lunging challenge on Thomason was, well, I mean, a no-brainer for the referee, quite frankly. Wow.
Well, it's a disaster for Sheffield United. It's so poor from them. Chris Wilder will be going absolutely berserk because it's such poor defending on that left-hand side. I think it's Hamer and one of those defenders. Not sure if it's Tanganga out wide. They just get caught out. They stood still, whereas Wrexham are alive. They're quick. They catch them out.
It's just one pass. You know, they're so simple that it's free kicks. They don't just stand on it, stop them playing forward. And it's Broadhead on the half turn, and we've seen him just roll one in the path of Kiefer Moore to score. He's just done that for Thomason.
Right foot, it's 5! Wrexham 5, Sheffield United 3. Happy Christmas. That wasn't bad, was it? Sent him the wrong way. And Moore is loving this, isn't he? Windass might have scored, but Moore, who did miss a penalty last time Andrew Kitchen gave us one, is delighted with this.
Well, the former Sheffield Wednesday man, I don't think he'll mind it either. They look very happy down there, don't they? These sort of games when you've got an extra fire in your belly for numerous reasons. But just again, it's superb. It's that intent, like we say, that led to the penalty being won. George Thomason has been brilliant. And Windass, he's been superb as well today. No mistake, never in doubt, was it?
I didn't think so, to be fair, no. Goodness me. Wrexham 5, Sheffield United 3. And it's got to be said, and I don't mean to gloat, but I should do actually now I reassess. For Sheffield United, as Kiefer Moore is given a break to a standing ovation from his current team's fans, and he has had a cracking game. Sam Smith comes on, fresh legs up front, and well, Moore again, he's done ever so well, but his finishing has been what's been crucial in this match.
10 league goals for the season. Snip at couple of mil.
Absolutely. As here comes Sheffield United. Let's not just rule them out just yet. They have been looking good when they've come forward. Less so in the second half, it must be said. Thomason immediately pressuring after a slip. But in the end, Sheffield United are able to hold on to the ball. And the ball is switched over to the left-hand side. Burrows again. Pulls it back in. Arblaster's got options. Misses out Hamer to work it across to Sariki on the right-hand side. Wrexham's fans are just absolutely loving it as a little ball by McGuinness round the corner is hacked clear. But McGuinness has come on, but his shirt's got no number on it. It all feels a bit chaotic out there for United. And as Andy said, it certainly did in the build-up to that goal. A free kick and a halfway, and has played it forwards and then back again. And just the entire right side of Sheffield United's defence were bamboozled by our sophisticated movement of the ball. And then ball drilled forwards again for McGuinness. Good strength in midfield, but Hyam holding him off. And here is Sheaf. United, well, I mean, they've changed shape again, it looks like. And well, I mean, they'll certainly present different questions to Wrexham because they're going to have players popping up all over the shop. But by the same token, well, they look a little bit all over the place at times when they lose the ball.
Well, yeah, I said before, after Wrexham scored, the fourth best form of defence was probably attack. But Sheffield United have to just go all out now, don't they? They don't really have a choice.
But they're open, and here's Thomason winning the ball back and is surging past Arblaster. Only Smith has kept up with him. Windass is there too now. Challenge on Thomason, dumps him on the ground. He does brilliantly to get up and square it. Windass and Broadhead keep it moving on the left. Broadhead now surrounded by defenders, back heels it for Thomason. That was a bit of unnecessary showboating. Thomason wrestling away, in the end is penalised. Looked like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, to be honest, but free kick goes against Thomason. He looks shattered now.
Well, I think that's why he didn't get on the end of the Broadhead flick, because he was just getting his breath as Nathan Broadhead leaves the field. Wow.
And rightfully so. Standing ovation for Broadhead, and that is by far his best performance for Wrexham so far in his career. just added everything, didn't he? Drive, finesse, and just those couple of such key passes in important times for crucial moments.
The substitution that was made at the same time as Smith is that Andre Brooks has come on. He was the man having a wrestling match at Thomason, American international, who didn't enjoy his first encounter with the makeshift wing back, I don't think.
Danny Ings also on the field as well, up top with Tyrese Campbell.
It's chaos out there, but the sort of chaos I embrace. 5 minutes left. Wrexham 5-3 up against Sheffield United.
I think we've just gone into a 5-4-1 with the change.
It's good pressure on. Well, Thomason maybe a touch unlucky there. I thought he made a good decision to step up and pressure Brooks, but the free kick is given against him, and Brooks is sprinting across, understandably, to grab that ball and get it back in play as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Wrexham just got to keep their focus now. In the past, we've sat back on our leads and we've been penned back, but this time we've come back with great aplomb. Now it's time to finish the job off.
Sariki's cross is blocked. Rathbone tidying up. Windass down the line. Rathbone will look to bring it out. Smith is getting up there as a target. Rathbone sweeps it across like he's looking for Smith, but it's beautifully brought down by Longman, who's surging forwards to Smith outside him. Longman palms the ball off to Smith and then pulls back into midfield. Cleworth is up there in support. Wrexham protecting the ball now. Longman back into his own half. Wrexham dragging Sheffield United back out again. Doyle. Windass is available wide and he lifts it over the top. Put too much on that, but Windass applauds the idea. In that 5-4-1, Windass is on the left and drifting up on the inside sometimes. And Thomason quite happy to tuck in or stay back and allow Windass to do that left-sided role. Here is Tanganga up to the halfway line. The ball's pinged in round the back of the defence, but drilled back to Sariki. Arblaston now trying to turn it round the corner. Sheaf got a foot in and Ings is dispossessed really well. Again, Hyam stepping up into midfield and winning it. And Wrexham again look to play it over the top, but this time it's intercepted. Thomason, the tired looking pass. You wouldn't blame him for being tired. He has worked up and down this flank. Like
well, this second half, we've said that his defensive cover might be questioned, but he's not had to this second half because we've been so good in possession with Broadhead getting on the half turn. He's just been able to go bombing on forward and creating forward, and what he has got is a real quality, and he's shown that today going forward. If he could nail down a little bit of defending, then might have a player on our hands out here.
Too right. He looks terrific, doesn't he? Here comes Tanganga. 2.5 minutes left of normal time, if that. Longman running the ball, wanted to go out to play, and he's lost the ball. That was sloppy. Cross comes in, and Ings is beaten to it in the near post. Great foot in by Hyam, but Longman needs to deal with that better.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. He's been so good in moments today, Longman. Obviously got his goal. He's been really bright going forward, but then just a couple of times, I just think he's let himself down defensively, made some silly decisions. He just needs to be so careful, especially with this potent Sheffield United side going into the last few minutes. Don't give him a sniff.
Here comes Ian Swinger, stood up towards the 6-yard box dangerously and heads it across the face. Referee gives a foul. Tanganga climbing on his man. But yeah, Longman's had an odd sort of game, hasn't he? Where he really has made quite a few mistakes. And the crowd have been groaning whenever he misplaces passes. But he has also had moments where he's done exactly what we needed and has hurt Sheffield United.
Yeah, and what can't be questioned is his work ethic up and down that line. He is constantly going and at pace forwards, and he's getting back as well to help out. Yeah, some of the ricochets between his legs have gone against him, haven't they? And a few decisions, but he keeps going. He keeps going at it.
Goal kick taken and flicked on by Cleworth onto a Sheffield United player. Throw to Wrexham just inside the Sheffield United half on the right. And that will do Wrexham absolutely fine. We can take the time over that. We've still got another substitution window we can use to run the clock down a little bit more as well. There's the throw in down the line. Smith helps it inside. Rathbone fighting, creates a loose ball. No one able to take advantage of it. Sariki back in his own half again. Has to go backwards because Rathbone works hard to sprinting across to stop the forwards ball. And when the ball's hooked down the line, it goes out of play before coming back in again. Throw to Wrexham, who have another substitution ready. Double substitution, is it? Or is it?
Well, at 3-1 down, we look so easy to score against going forward. They look like they could score at will. But a decent half-time team talk has really come out, because we've certainly plugged the hole at the back and looked chaotic going forwards, haven't we?
Oh gosh, in the best possible ways. Longman doing so well, carrying it to the corner flag and holding on to it. In the end, the ball rolls out for the goal kick, but he's just run down a bit of time. 4 added minutes. Wrexham close again. That would be a massive win.
Is that the lesser spotted J-Rod over there?
I think it might be. That'd be good to see. And indeed, Josh Windass gets the break. And wow, what a performance he's put on, firstly. But secondly, isn't it brilliant to see Jay Rodriguez back on the pitch? Horrible injury he had, which means this is the first sight of him on the pitch this season. And he's gone up front with Sam Smith. Smith wins the header. Rathbone helps her on. There's Rodriguez. Lovely touch. Brings down the right-hand side. Battling away with his man. And gives away a free kick in the end. But yeah, great to see him out there. He's got a role to play. And if we do start playing this box midfield, he, Windass and Broadhead are the obvious players, I'd argue, to fulfill those two supporting roles for more. Long ball by Sheffield United. Hamer can't bring under control. Sheaf brings down a nice touch from Longman. Wrexham keep the ball moving at the back. We're nearly halfway through the 4 added minutes now. That's a good run by Rathbone. He's picked out well by Doyle. Flag goes up. Bit unlucky there. I thought he timed that. He was heading for the corner flag anyway. And so Sheffield United start again from the back. Ball driven long, looking for McGuinness. He does well to touch it on for Ings. He lays it back out wide. It's a good ball for the charging run of Burrows. He sweeps in a good cross for Brooks. He gets his head up, it drops loose, hits the bar, ricochets back out. McGuinness so close. But they've not threatened much in the second half. It would have, to be honest, come against the run of play, a goal that would have pulled them back into it. But McGuinness struck it cleanly.
Well, it's a great header back across from Brooks, because it looks like the ball's going out of play. He fires it with his volley from 7-8 yards out. Really unlucky.
Just over a minute of the added 4 left. Ref will probably add some time on for the substitutions as well. So Wrexham just need to make sure here, don't they? Corner looped in with real height and headed it partly away, then volleyed to the halfway line by Sheaf once more. And the ball out wide is poor. Throw into Wrexham. Wrexham will certainly take that. Some fans starting to leave. I'd hang around for the party personally.
Well, yet again, like you say, Matt, obviously game's not done, but it's looking really positive, and it's again a really, really positive response to what was a really poor result last time out away at Swansea. And you just hope now it's the perfect time to get a bit of momentum and go into this really busy festive period into the new year. Next game at home as well. Can they just continue where they left off?
Oh, yeah, it's been terrific, hasn't it, really? I mean, as the ball's knocked long straight through to Okonkwo, who will be able to take his time over this. And Wrexham are closing in on an absolutely remarkable outcome here. You got Jay Rodriguez and all these players out there. Danny Ings. It's like my 2016 Panini sticker book. Matty James. There's the final whistle. Wrexham 5, Sheffield United 3. Oh my goodness, what a performance by Wrexham. Came back from 3-1 down as well. And at that point, we looked in trouble. But all through that match, Wrexham were dangerous. Wrexham had a goal threat. And ultimately, we came out with the victory. That was tremendous from Wrexham. And 3 points. We end our disappointing run without a win. Swansea is a distant memory, and that was Wrexham putting on a proper show. Sheffield United are in great form. They've won 5 of the last 7, and you could see their quality. Their attacking front four were brilliant, and they were all on the score sheet by the 24th minute. Bamford opened it up with a brilliant goal, flicking it in off the far post. Wrexham came back superbly, almost instantly, and got one back. Tyler Bindon with an own goal, although to be fair to him, there wasn't much he could do about it. It was a glorious volley back into the goalmouth from Thomason's cross by Josh Windass. It ricocheted in off Bindon, but Bamford struck again, a second fine delivery by Sariki to put them 2-1 up, as Phil Parkes and his team are getting terrific, deserved rounds of applause for their performance. And Callum O'Hare scored from a long throw-in by McCallum, which Kiefer Moore inadvertently flicked on into the danger area, and when O'Hare headed it in, Sheffield United looked so good going forwards. And although Wrexham, playing Broadhead and Windass in support of Moore, were also causing issues, it looked ominous. But from that point on, Wrexham took control, to be fair. Kiefer Moore scored 4 minutes later. Thomason ripping in a great corner. Moore planting it into the net to give Wrexham hope. And it was equal 7 minutes into the second half when Longman jumped at the far post. Another great ball in by Thomason and headed the ball home, beating his man to it at close range. 3-3. Wrexham continued to dominate that second half. Took the lead with a brilliant breakaway. Broadhead, a magnificent carry through the middle, and laying it on for Moore, who slammed his second goal in against his old team. And then the fifth coming with 9 minutes left. Again, Broadhead breaking forwards, again laying the ball off beautifully, and Thomason winning the penalty. A wild lunge. Windass stepped up and just completed. I mean, what a grim day for Sheffield United. You've got a striker that you allowed to go in the summer scoring twice. You've got Windass, Sheffield Wednesday player, as was, also scoring. And even, I mean, let's be frank here, a outstanding performance at left wing back by a stand-in, George Thomason, who gets a couple of assists, wins a penalty, and was just non-stop. And Wrexham in the second half were dominant, and that was absolutely magnificent. A real treat to watch. And Wrexham showing quality, showing tactical flexibility, with players popping up in positions that United didn't expect and couldn't deal with. Broadhead and Windass were really, really threatening in support with Moore. And also Wrexham showing real heart, wouldn't give up, kept going. They could see Wrexham on goals in them from the very start, and even when it was 3-1, didn't let them trouble them. They just kept going, and they put in a hell of a performance. Lovely to see Rodriguez at the end as well come on for his first appearance of the season after injury. That was a nice moment, but I tell you what, the nicest of all moments here came throughout. What a performance by Wrexham. Well deserved and spectacular, and a scoreline people will certainly have to pay notice to, with the final score of Wrexham 5, Sheffield United 3. We've been Mark Griffiths, Andy Morrell and Mia Roberts from Wrexham AFC. It was all a dream.